foolish prince. Feast your eyes.
Welcome back to another video, and today I want to talk about the Mattel Creations Masters of the Universe 40th Anniversary exclusive 2-pack. Now, I tried to get this on Mattel Creations when it came out. This thing sold out within seconds. It was gone. Gone. I never thought I'd have a chance to pick it up. Well, guess what? Last week, my wife and I, we were out and about. We went to this collectible store called Fourth World Comics out here in Long Island. And man, there it was on the shelf. I didn't see it at first. I was walking through. We were getting ready to leave. I happened to see it. It caught my eye. I was like, yo, check it out. It's in the wild. I'm going to pick this bad boy up. And I did. And it hasn't been opened. I haven't even opened it yet. So we're going to open this together on this channel, which I will show everything off. Yes, but I'm excited about this because of the fact that not only do I have the 40th anniversary HeMan, which I already bought separately, don't get me wrong, and I have him in my case put away, but I got the 40th anniversary Skeletor, which I wish they would have made separately, but the only way to get Skeletor, I guess, is in this 2-pack, and that's what I needed to get my hands on the most. So enough of that. Let's take a look at this box. Now, everything's kind of all together like this and focused, so please forgive me as I move stuff around so we can see. But as you can see on the side here, we have Skeletor's Havoc staff on the side of the box. And then on the other side, as I move this around without trying to mess everything up, we have the Power Sword. And yes, this thing is massive, so which therefore you're seeing past the diorama. And yes, on the back side, we have the Masters of the Universe, and then we have He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. And it says that he is 7¼ inches tall, which makes him 18.6 centimeters tall. Then you have the Ring of Absolute Power. Craziness, right? And I think that came with Triclops back in the day. If I'm not mistaken, and if I'm wrong, please leave it in the comments letting me know who it actually came with. And then you have Skeletor, the evil lord of destruction. He actually stands 7 inches tall. He's actually 17.9 centimeters tall. So actually, He-Man's actually taller than Skeletor, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of looking at the box. I'm going to stop this right here. I'm going to pop the tape. I'm going to get this out of the box, and we're going to show off these figures. Okay, so now I took him out of that like mailer box that it came in, and then here's the actual box itself, and this thing is huge. As you can see, it says 40th anniversary Master of the Universe. I mean, it doesn't say the anniversary, but you get it. It's got the 40. It's got He-Man right here holding up the Power Sword and the lightning, all that goodness. Just missing Castle Grayskull in the background, but that's what, you know, this kind of is. And on the other side of the box, we have the actual front part of the Castle Grayskull drawbridge, right? Which is pretty cool because this is the emblem that's on the front of the actual drawbridge when it's closed. So you have the helmet, the 2 swords, the shield with the skull and the feathers, and then you can see the skull here, right, in the corners, which represent that ring. But anyway, this I thought was really cool that they did this. Now you're opening this up, and you have He-Man. Get this out of the way. And then you have Skeletor. As you can see, all the little plastic pieces are falling out. Like I said, I haven't even opened this yet. And there's the actual box that they come in. Absolutely, excuse me, amazing. So I'm going to stop this here. I'm going to get these guys out of this box, and we're going to take a look at the accessories that they come with, and we are going to take a look at the figures themselves. And you can read this right here if you want to. Pause it, take a good look at it, but I'm going to get these guys out of here so that way we can take a good look at them. Okay, so when I was actually, I didn't get them out of the box yet, but when I was actually checking this out, because like I said, I'm doing this with you guys, right? This actually just pulls right off, which is actually really cool. It's just a loose panel. And then on the inside, holy crow, man. Holy crow, the way they did this. Now, as you can see, they're still all in the package, but you got the original comics that came with the figures from back in the day. What a nostalgic throwback. I mean, I know that you guys have probably seen videos of this already on YouTube, and that's great. I just got mine, so it doesn't matter to me. I'm not trying to be first, and I got to get the clicks. I appreciate everybody who watches my videos, but this is absolutely exciting, man. Exciting to see how Mattel put this whole thing together. It's a nostalgic throwback to when we were kids, when you bought these figures and these little mini comics were behind them in the packaging. You took them out, you read the story, and then you knew what to do with He-Man or Skeletor, whichever one you got first. But the way they package this is absolutely beautiful. So you have the sets of hands here, you have the power swords down here, you have the Havoc staff over here, you have his axe and his shield, and then you have the ring of absolute power. Yes. Now, as you guys can see right here on the legs, they still have the ties, so I have not even undone those yet. I wanted to show on how they did this box so you guys can get the full rendition of the way they did this whole presentation. And to me, that's absolutely fabulous. So I apologize if this video goes a little long, but be a little patient because of the fact that there's a lot of stuff to unpack here and a lot of cool things to check out. And not to see this, well, it kind of takes away from the whole beauty and time that they put in to boxing these exclusives the way they did them. And Mattel did a fabulous job. So with that being said, now I'm going to take the time to get these guys out of the box. So I do apologize. I didn't know that's the way it was going to be. I figured I was going to pull the thing out, slide them out, do what I had to do. But the way they did this, beautiful. But I'm not going to be taking the comics out. I'm not going to take the ring out. But I'll take out these other accessories. I might take the ring out. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, let me get this these guys out with their little accessories, and let's take a look. Okay, so now that I have the figures out of the actual box, all right, here is the 40th anniversary He-Man. I mean, this guy is absolutely looking good, just like the other 40th anniversary He-Man, except for this guy, he has a little bit more color on the face. He has a little bit more of the shadowing that they did on the arms to give him look like he kind of somewhat, has that cell shading. I love the way they did the battle harness on this one, just like the other one. Nicely done. And then, of course, you have the back part of the battle harness. The only difference between the two is really because this is a flocked loincloth here, and then the top of his boots are flocked as well. And then moving down to the boots, I mean, as far as the paint job is concerned, they did a beautiful job. Now, how many of you guys knew a kid growing up that had the He-Man haircut? I knew a couple. I mean, now I call it the Dora the Explorer haircut, but still, I mean, and then, I'm sorry. And then, going to his bracer here on his arm, I mean, just, they did a beautiful job with the paint. It's not sloppy, it's not crazy, but, and I'm not going with the articulation because it's just, the standard articulation from Mattel, we already know with these figures and everything else. I just wanted to show off He-Man here because if you didn't see my 40th anniversary review of He-Man himself, go watch it. It's on the channel. It's older. Now, getting into the accessories that He-Man comes with, he comes with his shield, and this is nicely done as well. And this part is all plastic. This is a thicker plastic. This is not die cast. And they did a beautiful job. There's a few here's and there's on there, but hey, it's to be expected. But very nice. I like it. I'm glad that they included it. So He-Man has his actual shield, which is very nice. Just gonna set this right here. And then we have, of course, his battle axe, which is die cast. The handle's plastic, but the blades are die cast, and that's cool. And it's beautifully done. This axe is just gorgeous the way they've done it. And I know the new battle armor He-Man that just came out from Revolutions comes with a very nice detailed axe as well. I mean, we cannot forget about He-Man's battle axe because of the fact that he had it in the comics and he had it in the toy. And they did a beautiful job. So yes, very nice to have that as well. And last but not least, of course, we have this gorgeous power sword that's all die cast and beautiful, and it's got to be one of the best power swords I've seen in a long time, except for the one that came with the Super 7 Filmation HeMan, the one from the cartoon. That one is just absolutely gorgeous, and this is die cast as well. So very cool, just very cool, very nostalgic pieces that we have here when it comes to these characters. Yeah, I'm glad I was able to find this in the wild. I never thought I would find it, but otherwise, really cool stuff. Okay, I just wanted to show this off. Here he is with all of his accessories. You do have to, when you put this shield on, you do have to take the gauntlet off of him. But that's neither here nor there. Pretty much have to do that with the other one as well. So you have the shield, you have the sword. He holds it very nicely. I don't have any issue of the die cast pulling his arm down. Everything, all the joints are tight. Now this was cool too, because I found that you can actually hold his battle axe on the back of his harness right here. So that's pretty cool, because everything, you can store everything on him. So I think that they did a wonderful job with this. And I mean, you know, for 40th anniversary He-Man, yeah, I mean, he's cool, you know, very cool. And that is the most powerful man in the universe right there. All right, so let's move into taking a look at Skeletor and his accessories as well. All right, so let's take a look at Skeletor, the evil lord of destruction. I mean, yeah, very well done, I have to say. I mean, look at this head sculpt that you got going on here with Skeletor. I mean, that's just absolutely beautiful. You know, the jaw is articulated. It doesn't stay up. It will stay open, just slide just a little bit, but then you can actually open it more, bringing it all the way down to where you have him doing his, actually looking like the iconic character from back in the day. To get that to actually articulate, you just got to kind of move his head up, because it's kind of tight in here, but you got to kind of move it up, and then I can't do it on camera. Get that to close if you want to close it. Otherwise, you can just leave it open if that's what you're fine with. But once again, the head sculpt, beautiful paint job that they have done with this figure. The eyes, everything. I mean, they didn't do a whole lot of green like they did in the old one, which is fine, but you can see a little bit of it on the forehead there, and then down here on the jaw as well. But as far as the redness in his eyes, sockets, I should say, just they did a fabulous job. I mean, just beautiful work. Then you have his hood. I love the fact that it has a texture in it. Then you have his battle harness. Of course, you have Hordak's emblem right here that goes across, and then, you know, the crossbones with the gem in the middle. Moving down to the side of his battle harness, I mean, the little studs on the side, just beautifully painted, well done, everything. I mean, they did a fabulous job. Moving down to the other part of his harness here on his loincloth and everything, they gave a couple little like damaged spots in here, which makes it look like, you know, he has been he's had it on for a while. But the texture and everything, the top part, the bottom, is just beautiful. Then you have the studs at the bottom, beautifully painted. He does not have anything that is flocked on him. And then of course you can see in the back where he can hold his power sword in the back. And then moving down, they kept the iconic reptile feet that they had in the original. They didn't give him his boots like in the cartoon, so that's cool. I like that. I can actually admire the fact that they kept to the actual aesthetics of the original when they made these figures. And even these here, beautiful. They look like leather. They have the nice little studs on them. Very well done. And the wings come all the way to the back. That is cool. Like normally they kind of just stop like right here, but they actually brought him all the way to the back of his battle harness, which is actually really cool. And he still has the fins on his arms as well. So yes, and both of them do come with a fist and a flat hand, which I did not take out to show off, because what's the sense of showing that off? It's just not that important of an accessory to have the extra hands and whatnot. So with that being said, let's get into taking a look at the accessories that Skeletor comes with, and then right into it we have his power sword. And I like the way they actually left it purple, just like back in the day. You know, Skeletor had his half the power sword, He-Man had his half the power sword. You bring them both together and that's how you could open up the gates of Castle Grayskull. Now, mine has a little bit of a niche here. Well, He-Man's did too, but I'm not really worried about it because, you know, stuff happens and that's that. I mean, but besides that, this is all die cast as well. It's just beautiful. I mean, another beautifully made power sword that Mattel has put out. Very well done. Just gonna set this down here at his feet. Let me scoot him back a little bit. That way it's sitting there. And then one of the coolest things is this right here, is his Havoc staff. And they have done just a gorgeous job with this Havoc staff. Now, this part right here is die cast. This is all plastic, and then the rest of it's plastic as well. But I mean, look at that. That is just a crazy looking ram's head that they have on here. You know, you got the eye sockets, you have the teeth, and why it has fangs, I have no idea why. But of course, it's, you know, it's his Havoc staff of destruction. And then you come down, nice little detail on the side, very well painted, and it's all purple. Nice little ball at the end, and that is Skeletor's accessories, and Mattel has done just a beautiful job with it. All right, so here is Skeletor with the accessories that he came with: his power sword, his Havoc staff. I mean, absolutely just nostalgic and just beautiful the way that they have done these guys here. And I mean, absolutely. So I'm going to move him back here, and then we're going to bring in his nephew, and now you have both of them standing here. Let's give a little twist there. Now you have them both standing side by side, and you can actually see that Skeletor is actually shorter than He-Man, and that's all well and good. That is all well and good. Maybe I should turn He-Man this way. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, it looks a lot better. Looks a lot better. But still, I mean, as you can see, they both hold their accessories. They both look really good. I mean, this is definitely, sorry about that. This is definitely one of the best things Mattel has done in a long time, in my opinion. All right, so we have a couple more things to look at and go over. And I know I said in the beginning I probably wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. And last but not least, we have the Ring of Absolute Power. And I do believe this actually came with Triclops back in the day when we were kids. And this is cool. Like it won't fit on my finger. It'll fit on my ring finger, of course, because my fingers are too big. But you have the power sword on the side, which that is absolutely awesome. And then you have the power sword on the other side. So you have the two halves of the power sword on both sides. And then you actually have the skull, representing, I guess, Castle Grayskull. And this does open up. And then it's, you know, you got the 40th anniversary symbol on there. And then you have this little bit of where it can light up. So if you have some light to shine in there, which I don't, let me see if I flip it upside down. Yep. So I flip it upside down, it catches the light. You can see how the eyes light up on the actual front of the ring. And this part's plastic. This is all die cast right here, this part of the ring. So if it's something that you want to wear as bling, I guess you could. But it's cool that they threw this in there. I mean, yeah, this goes all the way back to, like I said, when you got Triclops, he came with this ring. So that's pretty cool. Give me a second because we have a couple more things to take a look at, and I think you guys are going to enjoy this because I have not seen a video where somebody has done this, but I'm going to do it. All right, so I know I said I wasn't going to do this, but they were so easy to get out, they just slid right out. Now this was, I remember when I got He-Man, this was the comic that came with He-Man, and it tells the whole story from the beginning, right? On He-Man being that barbarian and how he left on his adventure. And I'm gonna do my best. And there he is on his adventure. You can, if you get this, you can read it. If you remember this from as a kid, you know. And there he is with the Green Goddess, which later becomes Sorceress or becomes Tila. And that's when he got his battle harness, which gave him the power. His axe. He got the battle ram. He got the what do you call that? I can't remember the name of this vehicle right here, but he got that. And then, you know, he got a sword. And then he had a staff and he had his shield. So yeah, and his battle harness actually gave him his power. And then later on in this comic, as we go along, of course, you know, it shows Skeletor and Beastman coming after Tila and a unicorn. It's been such a while. I mean, this is great. And they take her to Castle Grayskull, which, okay. But, you know, as you read the story, it tells the whole story on how everything goes. Then it talks about Skeletor being an interdimensional demon. And as you can see, the two halves of the power sword. And, yeah, I mean, he's in Grayskull. And you can see they have Tila up there. And then, of course, Man-at-Arms comes and meets up with HeMan. And, yeah, so on and so forth. There is a spot, and I don't remember where in the comic, where HeMan actually gets his battle harness stolen by Merman. And Merman tries to defeat him. But as you can see, they took over Castle Grayskull, and, you know, Beastman blasts HeMan, destroying the... man, I cannot remember the name of that vehicle for the life of me. But look at that. Look at that cool artistry of Castle Grayskull. And of course you have Skeletor, and then, you know, everything. I mean, this whole battle, the whole story is just awesome. And yeah, you could see He-Man without his battle harness at this point. And then, you know, Tila using her magic to separate the two halves of the sword. Oh, I skipped over a page. And then there they are taking them out. So really cool stuff. Great comics. And then you have the ghost of Grayskull right there at the top. But beautifully done. And then, of course, they show Skeletor at the end. And yeah, I mean, that's just definitely, I remember a nostalgic throwback from when we were kids, when these comics came with them. And then the second comic, which is actually really, really cool. This was when you got Skeletor, and of course you got Battle Cat without the, you know, his head covering on. And of course He-Man using his battle axe, not his power sword. And then of course Tila's in the background. So very nicely done. And then of course, once again, you got He-Man on the front. And I mean, just beautiful artistry altogether when taking a look at these. I mean, and it's telling the whole story of everything, which is nice. So, you know, if you can read it, you can pause it, you can read the story. It's there. This is the one where I think Merman gets the battle harness. You got Stratos that appears in this with his original colors here, which is really, really cool. I mean, just a whole lot of nostalgic throwback. Skeletor unlocking Castle Grayskull. Very cool stuff. Just very, very, very cool stuff. The trap door. You know, you see the mechanics in the background with the, I mean, just, they did this all this stuff to a T. And then there's Merman and He-Man. Skeletor with the computer. I mean, Skeletor got into Castle Grayskull a bunch of times, man, but he could never do it in the cartoon. And then here he is. Here's all the cool stuff in the comic. And then back to the story. So that's just awesome. Awesome stuff. I mean, this is stuff I haven't seen since I was a little kid. So it's actually pretty cool to open this and look at it with you guys. And then you have He-Man ripping the door off the jail cell. And then that's the armor, I guess, inside Castle Grayskull. Him defeating that because of Skeletor. But overall, this is some great, great stuff here. I mean, I'm glad to be sharing this with you guys. I know this video is getting a little bit long, but who cares when you got such cool stuff like this to actually check out and look at and go over. And, you know, the story continues, don't get me wrong, you know, but it's just nostalgic. And then you have He-Man, Battle Cat, and Tila riding off away from Castle Grayskull after defeating Skeletor again for a second time. I mean, you know, Skeletor could not get into Castle Grayskull at all in the cartoon. Barely could, I guess, that, you know, but in the comics, he managed to mess some stuff up. I just got one more thing to show off in this video, and then I will come to a close. But as you can see, the two here, give me 1 second and I'll get that set up. Okay, so I had to do this because I ended up getting the Classics Panther, which took me years to find, but I actually found him. And as you can see, this 20th or 40th. I don't know why I keep saying 20th, but this 40th anniversary Skeletor sits on him beautifully as he rides. And the same thing with HeMan. He fits on the Classics Battle Cat, which I have. I just wanted to show that off just so you guys can see. So if you do have and you do end up getting this, you too can put him on your Classics Battle Cat or Panther. Okay guys, so this is everything except for Panther. This is everything that comes in that whole set. I mean, good stuff, great stuff, very nostalgic, great throwback to when I was a kid, these original comics, these characters, and yes, 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 we have Skeletor. Yes, we do. Along with He-Man, but Skeletor, absolutely. You can't have one without the other. I mean, you can, but yet, come on, man. Everybody loves a good bonehead. And I got to say, out of all the villains, this has got to be one of the best villains out there from the 80s. And I know back in the cartoon, he was made a buffoon, but in the comics, before the cartoon ever came out, when I read these stories, absolute, just great character, great character. Same thing with He-Man. We all know He-Man. Everybody likes the good guys. But when it comes, there's just something about Skeletor when it comes to him that how he was created, how he came to be has got to be one of the best stories ever. And if you guys don't know, the guy who created, these guys here, when he created Skeletor, it had to do with something that happened to him in real life. So you get a chance, go check it out on Netflix. If it's still on there, they talk about it, or just the history of it at all. You could probably Google it, YouTube it, whatever the case, and find out. But very cool. And yeah, I'm glad to have him. So guys, I know this video was a little long. I do apologize, but hey, there was a lot to go over, a lot of stuff that I figured I'd show off that I didn't see before or anybody do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review of the 40th anniversary 2-pack of He-Man and Skeletor by Mattel Creations. Like I said, listen, if you were able to order this and get it, like I said, this thing sold out in seconds, okay? I found this, like I said, at Time Warp Collectibles over here in Long Island, and I did not pay out the yin-yang for it either. Considering the fact that I got it for a reasonable price, that's what counts the most. Because you try to get these on eBay, they're going to cost you, anywhere to close to $200. I got it for way less than that. You figure if you would have got it off of Mattel Creations, it was $80, $85 plus shipping. It's going to cost you like 100 and something, maybe 135, 140 bucks. I got it for less than that. So not bad at all. Not bad to find it out in the wild, which I never thought I'd find. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment down below. Always hit that notification bell so you never miss out on anything new that we are putting up. And thank you for taking the time to watch. Thank you for taking the time to comment. Everybody who's new to the channel, thank you. Everybody who's been existing, everybody that's been here supporting, thank you. This is why I do this, and this is why I keep coming back and keep doing more of these videos, because of you guys. So with that being said, thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoy your day, your weekend, wherever you are. It doesn't matter, because I'll always catch you on the flippity flip.